Welcome to the Beer Garden on an Irish edition of the Brew Review, and I must state that this is not a cheap brew review. This is an Irish edition of the Brew Review, and if you love beer, hey, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. Really appreciate it. And up this round on the Irish edition is the standard Guinness Extra Stout. I have a very strong opinion about this beer. I'm not exactly going to say what it is just yet, but I am going to rank Guinness Extra Stout out of 5 stars, how good a Irish beer it is, so that's coming up in just a few minutes. And if you're new to the Brew Review, I have a couple of haters that are just killing me on drinking the cheap brew reviews, the cheap beers, out of the bottles and cans, and so that has inspired us to create merch. Look at that, very popular. Everyone's asking, of course, the latest edition right there, the Leather Patch Brew Review cap. Very nice. Getting very bougie in our Brew Review. We should change it to a Beer Snob's Bouge Review. All right, enough of that. Let's pop the top and see what we got. Ooh, we're very excited. Guinness Extra Stout, of course, out of St. James Gate, Dublin. Many people ask me, what's the difference between Extra Stout and Stout? Well, Guinness Stout is their standard, and it's usually what you will find on tap and usually what you find in the nitro cans and bottles, and that has an ABV of around 4.5, I think, 4.2. This Extra Stout, it does not have the nitro in it, as you can see. It's not as creamy, and it clocks in a little higher ABV at 5.6. And again, I'm not a tiny man with tiny hands. This is a 22 ouncer. So either go big or go home. Time for the liquid to hit the lips. Slainte. Oh, that is dark, nutty, burnt, but not in a bad way. A virtual explosion in your mouth. That's what she said. So full of flavor and history. And again, not nearly as smooth as Guinness Stout where you have the nitro. This is more of a rougher around the edges type of Guinness. This is a raw, cold, rainy Dublin day down by the docks, maybe walking along the banks of the Liffey. And don't be intimidated by stouts, and especially Guinness Extra Stout. A lot of people I run into are intimidated by the look of it. They don't even want to try it, but burping already. But it is so flavorful. And if you're looking for something smooth and creamy, almost like a milkshake, you got to try the Guinness Stout with a nitro. So many stories, so many personal stories with Guinness. When I was in Dublin, I toured the Guinness brewery, and it was just fantastic to be there at St. James Gate, the historical brewery that it is, where Sir Arthur Guinness took out the 900-year lease on the property. I was in the hops room, which is a wooden floor and brick, and they have been storing hops in that room for so long that they're no longer hops in the room, but you can still smell it. It punches you right in the face like an Irish street fight when you walk into the room, because all of the hops have permeated the wooden floors and permeated the brick. It's kind of funny, when we were walking along the streets, we had an idea of what part of Dublin the brewery was in, but we were just walking along and heading in that general direction from our bed and breakfast we were staying in. And I literally could smell the brewery. I could smell the beer and I could smell the hops. And I just followed my nose and boom, right there, we ran right into the brewery. I was having a beer with an old man one time. He was around 75, 80 years, I guess, and he was drinking Guinness, and he had this very contented look on his face and a light smile. And I says, if you could sum up your life in one word, what would it be? He said to me, if I could sum up life in one word, it would be Guinness. So fast forward from the Guinness brewery in Dublin to I'm on a ship in the Caribbean, and I sit down at the bar, and this Jamaican bartender says to me, "Hey, Mr. Brady, good to see you again for the 3rd time this morning. What can I get you?" And I said, "I think I'll have a Guinness." And his eyes got really wide. He goes, "Oh, you're having a Guinness, man." He popped the top and slid me the bottle, and I took a mouthful of it. And I went, and I looked at the bottle and I was like, what is going on? And they have a brew of Guinness. It's called Import Stout, and they market it primarily in the Caribbean, and it clocks in around almost an 8%, and you can taste it. I mean, it is full frontal alcohol. It's good, but it's strong. All right, on this Irish edition, let's rank Guinness Extra Stout out of 5 stars, 5 being a very, very good Irish brew. And if you can tell already, Guinness is one of my favorite beers in the entire world. I've been asked before, if you could only have one beer for the rest of your life and only drink that one beer, my reply is Guinness. You can drink it any time of the year. Of course, with its intense flavor and its dark appearance, I enjoy it most in the winter and early spring. Like I said, I've had Guinness in the Caribbean where it was 100 degrees and I'm on a ship, and it goes down just as good. Year-rounder beer, but out of 5 stars, I'm giving Guinness 6 out of 5 stars. A first on the Brew Review. So hey, before you watch another one of my videos here on a Beer Snob's Cheap Brew Review channel, go grab yourself a beer and you drink that beer. Slainte.